time for your weekly dose of pop
Are we
culture.
live?
Kathy and Kenny, welcome to the show.
Yes,
I didn't
we
get the
are
whole.
now
I
live.
didn't get the whole
Good
Kathy and
evening
Kenny
and
explain
welcome
pop
to
culture.
Kathy
Why
and
look so?
Kenny Explain Pop Culture. I am Kathy along with my brother Kenny, and it is Saturday night, and that means it's time to explain pop culture as we do every Saturday night. Shout out and hi to Scooby Life
Scooby Life.
out
Why
there.
do I
Our
look?
pop,
Why do I look gray and blurry?
I don't know. Is your
Do I look
lens
gray and blurry?
clean? You look,
Huh?
yeah, you look kind of, yeah, like you're in like a fog machine or something.
Yeah, I know I do. I don't know why.
Is are you hooked up to your DSL camera? Or are you using the are you
I'm using
using
the computer.
the computer? Okay.
I'm
Is
using the
your
computer. My shirt looks all out of like. I look like
is
I
your
was in that
lens clean? Do you
commercial.
need a little lens cleaner or you
I
know?
look like I was in that commercial where the guy like used the wrong detergent or something, and it looked like so. Looks
I know I
smoky.
looked
I
a little
know, and I'm
washed
not
out, but
smoking. I'm not even
I
smoking in
know
here.
I know
I don't know
it looks
why I
like you
look
got a
like
fog
that.
machine going.
I don't know why I look like that. Hold on a second. I
Well,
don't know
I
why I
said
look like that. Why do I look
is the
like that?
lens part clean? Do you need to take a Did you do that with your hands? I
No.
think you made it worse.
Actually, I look better.
Okay.
Actually, I look better.
It looks smoky. Yeah, it's like clean your
I look
camera.
no. I look. It looks better now. I didn't do that with my hand.
Do
I
you
didn't
have
do
an
that with my
alcohol
hand.
wipe or something? Yeah,
No,
that's what I
hold on a
say.
second. It's the lens. It's the
It's
lens.
the lens.
Yeah, okay, that looks way better. That looks way better. That looks way better. Okay.
Oh, that's just
Yeah,
scary.
my shirt still looks like I was in a wrong laundry commercial though. It does. It does. Okay.
Well, last week we talked a little bit about. Well, how are you? Are you is are you okay? Are you good? Are you is
I
life
am
okay?
just I am just like a pig in slop.
Okay.
I am just all kinds of dandy.
All kinds of dandy. Oh, that's good.
I'm all kinds of ducky. Ducky.
You're all kinds of ducky.
Just
All
ducky,
right.
governor.
I got way too much light on me now. I was
Yeah.
like, I was so
How
dark,
how are
and
you?
then I
How's
was
it
playing with
going?
my camera's ISO to make sure I looked like reasonable. And I realized I took off all my rings except for one. I don't know why I left one ring on.
I have my rings on. I have all my rings
Okay,
on.
there you go.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
getting
have on my
rings on.
power rings.
I'm gonna get rings on this finger and this hand, and then get it on my thumb, and that way I have 10 rings.
Okay,
For all the Marvel fans out there, I'll have 10 rings.
all right. Your infinity stones. Anyway, so this week we're talking about the movie that you recommended to me, and I think after the show last week, I actually started watching it, and
Yes.
and then um, I saw a post, and it was like, uh, my friend Dior, and I was gonna have her on here. We were in the play together. In fact, we were in the Raisin in the Sun together, and it was so funny because Friday evening, I think, I came home and my father was actually watching that movie, the Sidney Poitier version of Raisin in the
This
Sun,
is
taking me
this so
back to those memories from 2020 when I got to appear in that play at Hickory Theater. So, and actually won an award. So that was kind of cool. Um, so I'm an award-winning actress. I just want to remind you. I'm just kidding. Oh, but you know what? You're pretty famous too because I had a meeting today for a Juneteenth committee because I'm working on the Juneteenth committee here in Statesville, and on our website with all the pictures or whatever,
uh-huh.
like you're the first picture that pops up on the website when you were doing your spoken word.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Nice.
so
I have to look
okay,
at
so
their website.
Scooby Life,
Because
I've
I've
been
seen
wondering about you
pictures of
people, and we're not going to do any spoilers, but
I'm gonna
I know
spoil
it
the
was a
hell out of it.
recommend. It was a movie that Kenny recommended to me last week, and I started watching it. And yes, it had some funny moments. And then I saw another post on Facebook that somebody posted, and then people were commenting that it made them cringe. Some people were like laughing out loud. And I found I did the same thing. There were parts of it where I was just like, ooh, that was kind of awkward, or I didn't get the humor. And then I'm wondering, did I not get the humor? Um, was it a generational thing that it was a very like, you know, I guess I'm 1964, so I'm tail end of the baby boomers. So was it just too millennial or Gen X humor that I didn't get?
Yeah,
Um,
I think a lot of the parts of this movie
mhm.
um would make, because I there was some parts that made me cringe.
Okay. Oh,
And
so I wasn't alone. All right.
yeah, there was some parts that made me cringe, but then
Mhm,
you have to sit back and think. Whenever you talk about race relations,
mhm.
whenever you talk about race relations in any capacity, there's going to be some part of it that's going to be a hard discussion. And there's going to be some part of it that's going to be a hard discussion that makes you cringe. I think with this movie, and I wish we could talk to somebody who had a hand in this movie, but I think to me, when you sit back and look at it, and I've been thinking about it all week, when you look at this movie, it's kind of cringe for a reason.
Mhm.
It's kind of
What
like it's kind of cringe for a reason, because there's some things you have to talk about and there's some things you have to show. I think the cringe part of this movie was necessary to be cringe,
uh,
because when you
like
talk race relations,
explain.
you're talking a difficult conversation in the first place, especially in this case, when you have a Jewish man want to marry a Muslim woman. That's not giving these spoilers away. That's in the thing. Um, and
That's
it's
in the
about an interracial
trailer.
couple coming together, and Eddie Murphy being a father. And there was a lot of cringe things that Julie Louise Dreyfus, her character, did. David Duchovny, his character, did. Eddie Murphy and Nia Long, their characters did a lot of cringe things. Um,
Although I think I don't know. To me, it's like the spouses, both Dia Long and David Duchovny. To me, just like from an actor script point of view, I don't think they got as much bang for their buck. Like I think
no,
they
they
got
didn't. They
they got a
didn't.
little overshadowed by
Yeah,
Murphy and Julia Louis Dreyfus, who
but then
just
when you have
comic
when you have
timing like crazy. They were great.
yeah, when you have somebody on stage, when you have somebody on set with you, like an Eddie Murphy and a Julie
Hmm.
Louis Dreyfus, and you give them the main roles, um, David Duchovny and Nia Long had no choice but to be overshadowed.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
But
if you give somebody
I
who was
guess the
actually
bad part
they're
is
decent
too.
people.
I think the bad part too is for like David Duchovny. I think, and everybody knows him from like the X Files or whatever, or you might think of X Files, but I think he's a really good comedic actor, and I
Yeah,
don't know what he hasn't had a great comedy breakthrough role
no,
necessarily. Although I thought he was funny in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Check that
I
one
didn't see
out.
that. I didn't see that one. No,
Oh, you didn't see Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
there's two versions
Oh,
of it. No, I never seen either one.
two versions.
There's a new one. Yeah, there's a new one.
Oh, there's a new one? Okay. Anyway, he's in the original one with Christina Applegate. But anyway, but I just think he does a great job of comedy. And in fact, my favorite X-Files episodes are the ones where he's, exploring comedy and are the funny ones. But so to me, he was like an underused player, I thought. I just thought,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it was weird seeing Nia Long taking such a second fiddle like that, because
Mhm.
she didn't have a lot to contribute anyway. But because you never really knew, outside of what Eddie Murphy thought, you never really knew what she thought on her
Yeah.
own. Um, but see, here's the thing. It needs to cringe. Back to the cringe moments. It needs to cringe moment, because the cringe moments are reality.
Mhm.
The reality of the situation, are the cringe moments. Because when you have a real situation like that, you're going to have some cringe moments.
And again, we're talking You People, and that is the movie from Netflix with, and it was written by Jonah Hill. You still working on your camera lens?
I know. Yeah, yeah.
Written by Jonah Hill, and I think he was one of the producers of it as well. And I guess for me, my struggle too with this movie is I don't know how much I brought them as a couple. You know,
Yeah,
and maybe that
Hey, Steve. Yeah, buying them as a couple was a little.
that to me that's what it was hard, because you know what, when I look at some of the other movies with interracial couples, and I don't know, it seems like I don't know, you brought in more. Jungle Fever was like in the 80s. That was like the kind of one of the first big breakthrough movies dealing with that actually dealt with the relationship. Now, when I was kind of looking at some of the movies, and we all know, like, you know, the OG or the original. No, not that one. Oh no, not that one. That's the new one. Oh, I had a picture of the original Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, but evidently I have lost it. Where they kind of tackle the issue, like, you know, head on. Guess Who, the remake, was more like the comedic take, like You People, I think. But there have been some other movies, and the one movie, you know, the one movie I really loved this movie, and it didn't really deal with the interracial relationship, but that was at the core of it. Have you ever seen A Bronx Tale?
No, I've never seen A Bronx Tale.
You've never seen A Bronx Tale? Oh man, Kitty. Okay, it was actually it was directed by Robert De Niro. Put that on the list. Do you have the list?
No, I don't have the list on it right now, but
okay. Well, I have the list here. Let's look at all the movies Kitty has not seen.
Wow, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I just keep this book so I can write them all down and dust it off, and I'm just gonna start writing down all the movies that your pop culture education really needs. And A Bronx Tale was a beautiful movie, although I do feel bad. I think that not badly, that the actor, like child actors, either you come out on the other side okay, or it just goes horribly wrong. And the young man who played in that, I believe he's now out of jail, but I know at one point he was dealing with drugs and was arrested and involved with, I think, a murder during a home invasion.
Oh,
but
wow.
But he's the same guy who was in a movie, and I don't know if have you seen, and this is a smaller movie, so if you haven't seen this movie, I will forgive you for it. Oh gosh, I can't even think of the name of the movie now. It was a Danny DeVito movie, and he had to teach Shakespeare to these army recruits.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? That was one of, I had a bunch of posters in my office when I was an instructional coach, and there was all these movies that were based on teachers or teaching. And oh, that movie I loved. I can't think of the name of it. See, where is Ed when you need him? Because he usually is on top of these things.
Now,
Renaissance Man. That's the name of it. Renaissance Man.
But see, here's the thing.
That's not a popular movie, but you should put that on your list.
Okay, I'll put that on my list too.
Here, let me start a new list for you.
The GOAT in these type of movies, of course, to me is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Guess Who's Coming to
Yes.
Dinner was done very for the time period. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was done in the 60s. It was Spencer Tracy's last movie. Until the day she died, Katharine Hepburn never watched the movie in full.
Oh wow.
Because she couldn't do it. Because that was his last movie. So those tears and that scene that he did at the end of that movie, that was the last scene he filmed, I believe. And those tears at the end that she had were real because she's watching this man. She knows because he was sickly at the time, and she knew he was at the end of his time, and that was probably going to be his last movie. So those tears were kind of real. This movie featured also Isabel Sanford.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and she plays a great role in this. And Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? It was about this couple who meet in Hawaii, and after 10 days or whatever, they fall in love, and she brings him home to meet the parents. He's black, she's white. It's the 60s, and not only do they in that movie they give the reaction of other people around them to their situation, but it's kind of like a timepiece where in one scene the maid's helper, who is black, needs a ride home, and the grocery store delivery guy is a white guy, and he's dancing around with the maid, and they dance together, and they listen to music, and they get in the car and they drive off. And Isabel Sanford's character goes, something like, young people today, because back in the day you wouldn't see like a black lady and a white guy dancing together and getting in the van and driving off in those days. So what is that?
Oh, you know what? That was for a stage production of it. Yeah.
Oh, because that wasn't. I'm looking at him like that. Don't look like Sidney Poitier.
Yeah.
But and then there was another scene where the Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn go out and try to get out the house and clear their heads for a minute, and they go out to get ice cream, and Spencer Tracy gets into a car accident, and so happens he gets into a car accident with a black guy. So it's like, and he goes, "I didn't see you," and the black guy goes, "Of course you didn't see me." And there's one line in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner that sticks out with me, and I use it a lot when I'm explaining things, especially when it comes to race. There's a scene where they cut to Katharine Hepburn and her daughter are talking, and they cut to Sidney Poitier and Spencer Tracy talking, and you catch Spencer Tracy on the end of the conversation saying, "And when I watch Bandstand, you can't tell me that the black kids don't dance better than the white kids." And Sidney Poitier goes, "There's a reason for that." And Spencer goes, "Well, what is it?" Sidney Poitier goes, "This is very profound if you think about it. You can dance the Watusi, but we are the Watusi." Let that marinate for a minute. But I thought that was a very profound line in that movie. The remake that they did with Guess Who, and it kind of switched it around to a black family and the white guy coming in to meet the family. I did not like that remake. I love Bernie Mac. Ashton Kutcher is a good actor. Had a lot of good actors in this movie. Zoe Saldana. Ashton Kutcher, yeah. Bernie Mac was in this movie. It had a lot of other good actors and supporting actors in this movie. However, it was just, I don't know, it just them putting the title Guess Who on it as if it was like almost like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. It just, I give this movie a total thumbs down. It just wasn't good to me at all.
Even though, I like Ashton Kutcher. I like, although to me, my favorite romantic comedy that he's ever done is called A Lot Like Love. Put that on the list. You haven't seen that one either.
How come you never put movies that I've seen that you haven't seen on the list? Like, how come
What
you haven't
movie
watched
have you seen that I have not seen besides the
Fast and
Fast and the
Furious,
Furious? I've
Fast and
seen
Furious
that.
2 through 9?
2 through 9. What am I being punished for?
Wow.
Uh,
See.
I'm writing down Kenny's list.
The
And
things on the thing about the Fast and Furious movie, they go from street racing to doing like some wild, crazy things with cars, and it gets to the point where you're not really there for the street racing.
when they're shooting cars in space, come on. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know, but that's what you're there for. You're there for the impossible and for the things that are just not like, dude, come on, who thought of this? Like the stunts that are just like out of this world, impossible to do. Like in the last one, they did a stunt where he shot a anchor across a mountain and jumped the car and swung the car from mountain to mountain because he hooked on to an anchor or something like that, and they lived. And it was like, what? But those are the kind of things you look for in these movies. Those are the kind of things. They went into space with a car.
guess who's coming to dinner? Because I see some stills in black and white and then some stills in color. Was the original film in color or did they colorize it?
It was in color.
It was in color. Okay.
The original film was in color.
Right.
Here's another movie that it was a timepiece period movie, and it was about an interracial couple, and it starred one of my Hollywood crushes, Karina.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With Whoopi Goldberg
And Ray Liotta.
Yes. And that was a good movie.
Oh wait,
That
was it
good.
the who played the little boy? Because didn't he go on to be famous?
It was a little girl, not a little boy.
Karina? Oh,
It was a little girl that he had. Because the little girl did not want to talk to anybody.
Okay, I thought. Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of. Well, what was the movie? Wasn't there a movie with? Was it Neil Patrick Harris and
Yeah, and Whoopi Goldberg. Yes.
Okay. Oh, you know what? The little girl, actually, later starred in Veronica Mars. That's what it was. Tina.
Majorino?
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I'm thinking of.
Majorino. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But wasn't there a Whoopi Goldberg movie with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yes.
And what was that?
I forget what it was about, but yeah, there was.
Okay. All right. I know I'm a little crazy, but not that crazy. I can't remember the name of that one. Where is Ed when you need him?
I know. Now, also, there's another movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I wanted to see it, and I didn't get a chance to see it. I think it is on one of the channels, on one of the cable channels. But there's a movie called Loving, which is actually a true story about a couple.
Oh, I saw that movie.
It was actually a true story about a couple who were married in 1958, and they were an interracial couple in a small town of Virginia, and their troubles. And that's actually a true story. And I think the couple is still alive and still married today, if I'm not mistaken.
Are they still? I don't think they're still alive.
Yes, Steve. And MPH was in movies. He was in Starship Troopers. Steve, come on.
MPH. Yeah, he was in Harold and
Kumar. He was in all the Harold and Kumar movies.
All the Harold and Kumar movies. Yes, it was.
Which is awesome because here's the thing.
Clara's Heart. That's the movie I was trying to think of. I had to look it up. I was like,
Clara's Heart. Yeah,
I was getting obsessed about it.
Here's the thing about MPH. He plays these roles in like what he did in How I Met Your Mother, and in the Harold and Kumar movies, where he plays this womanizer, and the guy is the greatest actor ever to me, because you would never know this guy was gay the way he acts, and when he plays these womanizers, and he's just like total disregard, and it's amazing. I love it. It's amazing.
Eh, well,
Um,
you gotta figure all the actors from early Hollywood, who never came out or whatever,
true.
and no one had any idea.
Yeah,
So,
true.
but
True. There's
again,
a lot of
to be a good actor, you kind of have to lose yourself a little bit in these roles, and the more you do that, the more convincing you are, and again, the more uh, the more buy-in. I know some people, they are actors or have these successful careers just based on they look, but I think the true actors, the true people who really master the craft, it is because they have that ability to kind of get lost in a role to the point where you don't know where they end and the actor begins. Because actually, I think some of the best actors, probably, if you met them in person, you'd be like, oh, I'm just totally unimpressed because you have like no
yeah.
personality because you don't have a writer writing the roles for you. And I think for 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 this and you mentioned the Loving movie. There was, I think it was an HBO movie. There was also a movie called Mr. and Mrs. Loving that I think predated it, that featured the couple in Virginia and their story, and how that it was illegal in several states to marry interracially, and their law kind of helped move that
I think we
forward.
need to do a check because I think in some states, even though you know, it- you know, it's legal all over. I think in some states they might not have changed the law. It might still be illegal in some states, and they just let it go because of whatever. I don't know if it's you know I would have to do a background check and see if all the states made it legal because some states had it illegal.
Okay, well.
I can see what some states would probably say. No, we're not changing that. Nah, we're gonna
But
get
I
them in
thought
the
the
law.
Loving case went to the Supreme Court, so that
It
would
did.
make it the
That
law
was
of
in
the land.
Virginia. Yeah, but that was in Virginia.
But no, I'm saying it was a court case in the Virginia, but it went to the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah.
So when it goes to the Supreme Court again, you know, so that they can make it the law of the land. Um, but again,
All
that's
right.
all
So,
for naught because they can change that. Hashtag Roe versus Wade. Anyway,
for those who are joining us or just joining us or in here for the first time or whatever, I'm Kenny. This is my sister Kathy. We explain pop culture every Saturday night. Please give us a thumbs up, give us a like, buy us a coffee if you want to buy a coffee. You want to support the show, support the program. Tell your friends about us. We're here every Saturday night from 8:30 to 9:30, and we're talking pop culture. And please do us a favor. If you're on like Facebook or YouTube or whatever, um, if you're
go
on the
ahead and
YouTube
share the
channel,
stream.
especially, make sure you comment. Let us know you're here. Let us know who you are. Talk to us. If anybody is out there and they have a favorite movie that stars an interracial couple or anything, please talk about it with us. We're open to
Can I put
conversation.
Can I put another movie on your radar? And again, I won't put this on your list because this might not be for everybody. Um, but this movie, I stumbled on it because before, now I think I stream a lot of the stuff I watch. But before I would stream, we had like HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, like all those paid channels, and I would all come across these movies. There was a movie I came across. It was called Things We Lost in the Fire.
Okay, I
And
heard that.
you've heard of that? Okay.
I heard
And it
that. I think I
actually
might have
starred
watched some of it. I don't know.
yeah, it actually starred Halle Berry and Benicio del Toro. I'm probably
Yeah, I know what you're
butchering his
talking about.
name.
Yeah, yeah, I know what
But
you're talking.
it was a story like Holly Berry and actually David Duchovny were married, and he was killed, so she was a widow, and she reached out because Benicio was her husband's best friend, but he had a drug problem. And actually, the movie, even though it featured an interracial relationship, it was more about um, this healing process, I guess, for the kids, for the wife, for even the best friend who lost his best friend, the kind of person who kept him tethered, and this guy who was kind of struggling down on his luck and addicted to drugs and everything, but it was based on this, the crux of it was this interracial marriage or couple, but that wasn't the driver of the movie. It was almost like that was incidental.
Yeah.
And
But there's a lot of movies where there's couples. I mean, because Disney redid a Yours, Mine, and Ours.
Oh, okay.
And they made it an interracial couple.
Oh, I missed that. That was on the Disney Channel.
I believe it was on the Disney Channel. Yeah.
Because I know there was the original one.
Gabrielle Union played the mother.
Okay, because the original one was like Lucille Ball and was it Brian Keith?
It might have been Brian Keith, Lucille Ball, and then the next one.
I can look it up. And then there was a remake with Rene Russo and Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
So yes. I didn't realize there was a Disney version. Yours, Mine, and Ours. And I'm saying David Keith, but I'm not sure.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's not Yours, Mine. Maybe it's Cheaper by the Dozen. There was a remake of Cheaper by the Dozen that they did on Disney.
Okay, yeah. The original Yours, Mine, and Ours was Lucille Ball and Henry Ford.
Yeah, I think maybe I got it wrong. Maybe it's a remake. Maybe it's a remake of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Oh, Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah, maybe it's a remake of Cheaper by the Dozen, where they used a guy from Scrubs is the husband and Gabrielle Union was the wife.
Oh, I didn't see that. Zach Braff.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
I believe it was him.
Have you ever? Okay, how about this? Have you ever seen Garden State? And I know we're swaying off of interracial relationships, but
no, I have not.
Yeah, it is Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yeah, Cheaper by the Dozen, and it was a remake, and that was what was the last state to legalize interracial marriage? Alabama in 2000. Alabama became the last state to remove its misgenerational laws from the state. Okay, so and Alabama was the last state. I guess all the other states removed theirs also. Even Arizona?
Even Arizona.
Because Arizona's a tough one. They were the last ones to let Martin Luther King Day be a holiday. Arizona's a tough one.
There's a couple of states where Martin Luther King Day, even I think they don't even call it Martin Luther King Day. They call it like either Civil Rights Day, but they also celebrate like some Confederate general or some such thing.
In Arizona?
No. I think it's in Alabama or Mississippi or someplace that's kind of scary.
I'm about to say Arizona wasn't even the end
yes,
of the Civil War.
That's what I was going to say, Scooby Life. Garden State. You have to put that on the list. Have you seen Garden State?
I've not seen Garden State. That is a Kevin Smith vehicle, isn't it?
No. Kevin Smith is Jersey Girl, which that could be on the list too. Kevin Smith did Jersey Girl. That was the movie. That was actually Ben Affleck J-Lo movie, although she dies in the first 10 minutes of the movies. But anyway, that movie.
Thank you for the spoiler.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
But it's the first 10 minutes. I'm telling you, she dies. You know it. Move on. I'm telling you that so you don't think it's another Jiggly or Giggly or whatever that horrible movie they made together was. Jersey Girl. Okay, you live in South Jersey. You live in New Jersey. So these are some must-see movies. You have to see Garden State and you have to see Jersey Girl. And if for nothing else, because it has one of my favorite comics of all time, and that's George Carlin in it. But that aside, Garden State was written and directed by Zach Braff, the guy from Scrubs. It is hysterical. I mean, just watch it. It's just a beautifully made. Actually, I think Danny DeVito was one of the executive producers, but I digress. It is just a beautifully made, quirky, funny movie. Natalie Portman, who I love, who again, one of my child stars who actually made it to the other side without crashing and burning. So she just does some amazing work. If you haven't seen Leon or The Professional, that needs to be on your list too. Please tell me you've seen The Professional.
No, but let's get back to our topic at
You
hand.
have not seen The Professional? Or you might have, it was released under a French name, which was Leon. Maybe you've
I've
not seen The Professional.
I've not seen it. No,
Kenny.
I've not seen it. I'm
This
sorry.
list is so long.
Oh, no.
Okay. The Professional. You've got to see that. Anyway, your pop culture card is revoked, dude.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Arizona's
There's a lot of movies I've seen that I know you haven't seen that I think are very crucial to.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I digress, but Scooby Life has such a good point. The Garden State soundtrack is amazing. It is
Thievery Corporation music?
top notch. I also would go back and say listen to the A Lot Like Love soundtrack. I'm going to put that one on here too because I think you need to watch that one too. A Lot Like Love. And again, if you're in the mood for a rom-com, I think that is a nicely done rom-com. I think you would enjoy it, and that has an awesome soundtrack as well. The Professional is fire. Yes, Kenny. I think of all the movies on this list tonight, and that's just tonight's list. And by the way, the last time there was a movie you hadn't seen, and then you went back and saw it, The Goonies, you actually enjoyed it. So I'm just saying.
It wouldn't work now though, because the Goonies they had cell phones.
Devin James, hi, how are you? All right. Resident Iredell County poet extraordinaire and spoken word artist herself. So nice of you to drop by. Here we are, Kathy and Ken Explain Pop Culture. We've been talking about movies that feature interracial couples and relationships inspired by the recent Netflix movie, You People. And like, again, I think there were parts, yeah, that really made you cringe. And I think parts where they were really trying a little too hard for the joke. And then parts where, oh, wow, did they go there? And there was literally one part of the movie, I can't remember what scene it was, where I was just literally laughing out loud, not just, typing LOL, but just laughing.
Yeah, I mean, because
it's kind of good to see Eddie Murphy, on screen again doing his thing. And like I said, him and Julia Louis-Dreyfus kind of they choose some scenery. They kind of steal the movie.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
They did steal the movie. Now, here's the thing. Sidney Poitier did another movie that was kind of like, it wasn't really an interracial couple.
Are you going with A Patch of Blue?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't really a
that's
couple. She did fall in love. The blind girl did fall in love with Sidney Poitier, but he kind of had feelings for her. But she was young and she was in a situation where it was better off for her to leave and go. And then he tried to run after her and she'd already rode away and everything. So it was kind of like a romance. But A Patch of Blue is also another favorite movie of mine because I love early Sidney Poitier. I think it's great. Now, even though
they call me Mr. Tibbs. Okay. I'm sorry.
Even though she was my Hollywood crush, there was a time period where I was like, come on, Whoopi, what you doing? And that was when she was dating Ted Danson. And remember the
Made in America.
Blackface at one of the award shows or something. Ted Danson came out in blackface with Whoopi, and I'm like, What the heck are you doing? But they did do a movie
Made
called
in America.
Made in America together.
Yeah.
As a couple. And one of the most popular ones for Whitney fans was My Bodyguard.
Oh, not My Bodyguard. That was a movie from the 80s with
The Bodyguard. I'm sorry.
Baldwin. The Bodyguard.
I've never
Kevin
seen The
Costner.
Bodyguard.
You've never seen The Bodyguard?
I don't want to see it.
Really?
No,
I mean, I've seen it. You know what? I've seen it, and I'm not even going to put it in on the list. I was not crazy about it, so that's not one that I think needs to take up space on the list.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you probably, pop culture podcast and talk show, you probably should see it because it is pretty, pop culture-y and iconic. Hey, there is a new movie out too about Whitney Houston, and
I don't know if I want to see that. I don't know if we need another Whitney Houston movie. Do we need a Whitney Houston movie? Do we?
I'm still waiting for my Tina Marie movie. Why don't we have a Tina Marie movie? I'm just saying.
I think a Tina Marie movie would be interesting.
I think a Tina Marie movie, talk about interracial relationships, the Tina Marie movie would be, just to turn everybody on to Tina Marie. You know what, Scooby Life, I think you are right. Kenny would, of all the movies, like here are the movies I have on the list tonight that Kenny has not seen that I am recommending: Renaissance Man, A Bronx Tale, Garden State, Jersey Girl, The Professional, and A Lot Like Love. Now, of all those movies, I think The Professional is the one that after we're done, Kenny, you should watch, and I think you will really like. It's got action, it's got adventure, it's got some good performances. I think you would really enjoy that movie.
We're done.
Okay. Well, tomorrow, tomorrow when you're sitting around resting up with your Sunday, check out.
I'm not resting on my Sunday, actually. I have to host an open mic in Oakland, New Jersey.
And where?
In Oakland, New Jersey. I'm hosting an open mic at the Laird Gallery tomorrow night. So, yeah.
Okay. But you do your podcast from there on Mondays, right?
Yeah, our next podcast from there on Monday will be February 13th, Monday, February 13th. Okay. And our guest is going to be a musician, rapper, Ovid the Poet. It's going to be a good time. Awesome. So a local guy here. So, but in any event, even though it's not basically like, in the vein of You People or Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, another big movie where the whole thing was based on race alone, for interracial couple was West Side Story.
I knew you were going to say something about. I was like, he's going to go West Side Story, isn't he? Because
Maria, I just met a girl named Maria.
Because I was going to mention two different things. Because not just West Side Story, but then there was another movie called O, which West Side Story is based on Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And the movie O is based on another Shakespearean piece, Othello. So evidently this whole idea of races coming together is a old and worn, tried and true kind of staple that's come, back around over and over and over again.
Because the West Side Story is pretty much, I guess the Jets would consider Polish. And the Sharks were Puerto Rican. And
when you're a jet all the way from your first cigarette to your last dying day. Oh, sorry.
Pow, boom, pow, bang.
Crazy boy, easy boy. Anyway, we can go down West Side Story rabbit hole.
Easy action.
Although, now, did you like the remake
of West Side Story?
Yeah.
Not at all.
You know what?
Not at all. The
I
characters, like
feel
in
you
the
on that.
original West Side Story, the characters
And
stood
I
out
know with
more.
all the flaws of the original West Side Story, and
Yeah,
the fact that you had like a non Latina actress playing the lead,
yeah,
and I see all the problems and problematic things with that, but there was just, I don't know, there was just a different energy or magic about that first
yeah.
one,
I
and
mean,
I watched the remake, and I
you know
just
what it
couldn't
was? The
feel it.
second, the remake of West Side Story. Um, the actors in the '60s that did West Side Story, whether they knew it or not, or whether they really um went into their roles,
Mhm.
and they had a lot of charisma with their roles. You knew action, anybody's, Ahab, Baby John, they all had Ajax, they all had personalities. The gang members had personalities, just as well as, even though some of the guys in the Jets didn't get, and the Sharks rather, didn't get names, even those guys had specific personalities when you saw them in every scene. Um, in the remake, everybody was kind of just like a plastic board reading lines. Nobody had any charisma. Nobody had any personality. All the Jets looked the same to me. I'm not trying to say all white guys look alike, but all the Jets looked exactly the same. I didn't get it. And in the first movie, the Sharks and the Jets, for a movie made in the '60s, those guys got so much into character. I would believe that they were really like a street gang, ready to fight. Like they were tough looking, and even though they were dancers and whatnot, and they were tough looking, and they did the whole thing. And in actuality, the director for that movie, he kept the Sharks and the Jets separate. Like they weren't allowed to intermingle when,
Mhm.
like, if you say cut, they were kept separately for a reason. And in this movie, everybody was just like a model with no depth at all. And like if you ask me to remember a scene from the new movie, I couldn't tell you one scene of
You
anybody
couldn't
in it.
help.
And only thing I can tell you is the woman who played Anita, she stood out in a couple of scenes. That's the only thing I can tell you. But I can't even remember what scene she stood out in. But I remember watching the movie and saying the woman who played Anita stood out more than anybody in this movie.
Fire.
So,
You know,
but that was also O was like a remake, you said, of Othello. And here's another movie that had an interracial couple, and they even played on the fact that there was an interracial couple in this movie, Save the Last Dance.
okay.
Did you see
I
that?
didn't see that one.
Wow! You didn't see Save the Last Dance?
No.
Everybody sees
Yeah.
Save the Last Dance.
Is it worthy of putting on the list, though?
Yes.
I
You
mean,
can put
or is
Save
that
the Last
one that
Dance
you could
on the list.
skip, and I
It's
won't be
movie
any
like
the word for it?
Steve, somebody help me out and tell her Save the Last Dance should be on her list. Save the Last Dance should be on your list. Save the Last Dance is a movie about a suburban white girl from like Midwest, I think she was from. Her mother passed away from
Oh, I saw this.
and she had to move into New York with her dad. Her dad was like a sax player.
Mhm.
And she befriended these people, and the brother of the girl she befriended, they wound up having a romance, and that's when they played the song, "Ooh, what's up, what's up," and he's teaching her how to dance, and they go to the club and they spit their dance moves together.
I
That's the
saw
kind of
this
romance I
movie. It
want.
didn't stick out to me.
You saw that?
Mhm.
I don't know why.
It was
Look, it's better than some of the movies you be talking about. I'm just saying.
Every movie
Save the
on this
Last-
list tonight is one you should check out. I'm just saying.
What?
I said the ones on here that you haven't seen, you should check out. The Professional, you should definitely check out. I'm just saying. And you're gonna enjoy that. I say so. Scooby Life says so.
Did you see all three? Did you see all three Harold and Kumars?
I did. I actually like them, and they're
I
silly,
love them.
but
I
they're
love them.
funny.
Whenever I need a good laugh, I put on a Harold and Kumar movie.
Harold and Kumar are like, I guess the next generation's, what do you call it? Cheech and Chong,
Yeah, yeah,
pretty much.
yeah. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, it's like
And that, you
Cheech
know
and
what? And
Chong
that
for
Harold
the
and Kumar.
2000s.
I'm gonna tell you how the movie Harold and Kumar messed up the movie Superman Returns. I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
how I messed up the movie because Harold and Kumar movies came out first, and then they did the Superman Return movie with Brandon Roth, and
Hmm.
Lex Luthor was played by Kevin Spacey, and one of Lex Luthor's henchmen was the guy who played Kumar. I forget his name. You know what I'm talking about. The guy who plays Kumar. I forget his name. He
Yeah,
was
I know who you're
on.
talking about.
He was on a whole bunch of other stuff.
Hmm.
But he
He
was
was
one of
on
the
House
henchmen.
for season 2.
Yeah, he was. He was one
He
of the
left
henchmen.
acting to work for like the Obama White House.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. And he made a joke about that in the last Harold and Kumar movie too. But
okay.
yeah, in the Christmas special, he made a joke about that. Oh yeah, he's got a better chance doing that than I have of working for the White House. And then everybody kind of looked, and he's like, but anyway, in Superman Returns, the guy who played Kumar
Cal Penn.
was one of the henchmen of Lex Luthor, and they they gave they gave like Superman some kryptonite. They exposed Superman to kryptonite, and Kumar was kicking Superman's behind. So you're watching Kumar beat up Superman, and you're like, nah. Why is Kumar beating up Superman? This is why this movie flopped. Why is Kumar beating up Superman? What? No, and no possible. No matter how much kryptonite you give to Superman, there should
But
be
see,
no way that Kamar can whoop his ass. I'm sorry.
but see now you're taking away from this actor's ability to play another role.
No, it wasn't. He couldn't play that. You couldn't play that. That's like if you was doing a movie back in the '60s and you
Mhm.
put a James Bond movie in the '60s and you had Sean Connery play James Bond, and all of a sudden somebody like Soupy Snails comes in and beats up Sean Connery as James. You can't do it. It's not going to happen. Soupy Sales was a good comedic actor back in the day, but he wasn't coming in beating up James Bond. No, you can't do it. Sorry. You couldn't make Soupy
um,
Sales. You couldn't make Soupy Sales tough enough to beat up James Bond, just like you couldn't make Kumar tough enough to beat up Superman. There's no way. This is not done.
okay, I'm putting I'm putting another movie on your list because you mentioned Sean Connery, and my favorite Sean Connery movie is Playing by Heart, so I'm putting that on the list. And that I will say is a chick flick. It is. There's no way around it. I think you'll enjoy it for the purposes of our show, but of everything on this list tonight, you have to watch The Professional. I don't know whether I can talk to you until you watch
Oh,
it.
my friend Culture Blemish is on. I second Kenny though. On what? You second me on what? Oh, on a Kumar beating up Superman? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, and I think we mentioned, we didn't mention the movie Something New. Um, and that was a movie that took a look at an interracial relationship. And also, there was a movie called Lakeview Terrace. And basically, it didn't really probe into their relationship, but the interesting thing was it was like a bit of a horror mystery movie, but it was Samuel L. Jackson who was kind of like just really torturing this couple, and that they were neighbors, and his big gripe, I guess, against them was that they were this interracial couple. But and then you find out that his wife left him for a white man. So yeah, bitter hotline.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson speaking. Anyway, um,
Now, I know a lot of people don't know this. I don't know if a lot of people heard the story. Denzel Washington will not
What do
Glad
oh.
to tune in, bruh. Oh, okay. What's up? Okay. Culture Blemish is a very talented artist. She's a friend of mine. We were hanging out earlier this afternoon. Me, her, and she was hanging out with Words Out Productions. We have some things on the pipeline that we're trying to put together, and I don't want to mention them yet until we put them together enough to. It's going to be big when it comes out. It's going to be big, big. I tell you, big.
All right.
No, but
And when it comes out,
Denzel
we'll talk about it
Washington.
here. Mhm.
Denzel Washington was in a movie with Julia Roberts. I forget the name of the movie, but there was supposed to be a romantic link between the characters, which Denzel Washington had written out of the script a kiss because he said he will not, because of his fan base, he said he will not kiss a white woman on the screen.
I think because at the time he was working a lot with Spike Lee, and I think Spike Lee originally wanted him for Jungle Fever, but it
Yeah.
wound up going to Wesley Snipes.
It's just like, because there's some things Denzel Washington won't do, and he'll, from what I heard, he will advise other actors not to do it. Like he advised, and I think he advised Chadwick Boseman not to do a gay role or something like that.
But Chadwick Boseman had some for the short span of his career, and it's almost like one of those things like, maybe he knew something we didn't even know. I'm sure he knew about his illness, but his time with us, that the roles he did choose, getting to play James Brown, getting to play Thurgood Marshall, 42, Jackie Robinson, like he made the most of, and of course,
Black
Panther, of the roles that he got to play. So hopefully he got to make some pretty good and wise decisions. I know what movie, I'm trying to think of what movie that was because I remember singing it. The Denzel Washington,
Julia Roberts
movie. This is what happens when we don't have Ed, and I got to try to look it up and I can't find it.
Yeah, I want to. Is that the Pelican Brief?
Oh, you know what? I think that's it. The Pelican Brief. You are right. You are correct. Okay, you get your pop culture card back.
Who needs that, Brown? Come on now.
You get your pop culture card back.
I know my movies. I know what I'm doing.
You know your movies. All right. So anyway, we've been talking about You People, the Netflix movie.
Which I highly recommend.
Let us know what you think. Did you laugh? Did you cringe? Did you cry? I know I had parts where I definitely laughed. It hit a funny bone.
Cry.
Then I had parts where I was just like, ew. And I think part of too the hard sell for me is I really didn't believe them as a couple. I think it takes more to be in a couple than wearing the same
they got more believable as a couple together more. To me, they got more believable as a couple the more you see them together.
Okay, maybe.
To me, they were more believable as a couple the more you see them together.
Although I did love the cameos at the synagogue.
They didn't need to bring the
So, okay, so here, Michael Shepard, and he can probably speak volumes on this topic because he is half of a interracial relationship, but he loved You People. See, and that's what I'm finding. Either people loved it or they just were like, ew, and they hated it. But
it's like being Hutch.
It's like
I'm
being
the fine one, and he's the nerdy one. Wow, that ain't right. Mike, that ain't right, man. Right. That's wrong, man. That is wrong. I'm the fine one, and he's the nerdy one. Mike's the black one, isn't he? Because only a black man would say I'm the fine one. Mike's the black one, right? Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I knew that from the wording in it, because only a black man would say I'm the fine one. Only black men would say that.
But true. But anyway, so So if you guys check it out, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Kenny, you have your homework assignment. You got to watch The Professional because it's just a damn good movie. And and what's your next YouTube?
Can I tell you one thing? One thing,
Mhm.
and I was telling my friend Beth about this too. And she's like, what? I
What?
like You People so much that first weekend it came out last weekend. I watched it
Mhm.
3 times.
Oh my gosh. No, I didn't like it that much. I
I
watched
liked
it
it that
once.
much. I especially love the basketball scene. I love
Now,
that
you know
scene.
what? I did enjoy that scene. I did. I did.
Did you get
Because
that? Did you get that? You didn't get that? Oh, okay. Yo, you gotta put me in a chat with these guys, man. I love it. This is great. We gotta have lunch together.
so he did get a chance to kind of turn it around in that movie. What other
Yo,
seems like I had
yo,
another
your
movie
guy.
that
You know, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a guy. Yes, you do. Your guy. See, there he is. Your guy. I don't have a guy. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, you do. The guy, your
and
last year.
of the actor that played his partner on the podcast. I
Mo.
don't know that actor's name, but she made me laugh.
Oh
She,
yeah,
he,
he
they
was.
made me
He was.
laugh.
Yo, what's your boy's name? Mo. And I got tits.
I
I
got
mean,
tits. I just that had
and
me laugh.
the way she looked at him deadpan like that, like
I have the guy. Sam J. Sam J. Yes,
who's
remember
Sam
that
J?
name, Sam J. That was his best friend was Sam J.
Oh, her real
And
name
they
is Sam
did
J?
the podcast together.
Yeah. Yeah, she was hilarious. I like the way she was telling him, like, you gotta be a certain kind of Drake. Because right now
All right, you the wrong kind of Drake.
right now you're the wrong kind of Drake. You the crying
Well,
Drake.
hey, stop it! You say no spoilers because Scooby Life
Okay.
said she hadn't seen it yet. So if she wants to watch it, we want to give her a fresh take on it so she can make her own decisions. Like I said,
You the
so
crying
some
over
parts
hookers
made me
Drake.
cringe a little bit, but some parts, for the most part, I did laugh
Scooby
and I
Life.
did
I
enjoy it.
want you to watch Scooby Life and let us know what you thought about it. Oh, yeah. Michael said that Drake conversation was the best.
That Drake,
Like, I need you to be like, Future, and you're kind of being Pusha T. It's like, well, maybe you need somebody. That's funny.
you're not gonna spoil it. All right. So anyway, we need to land this plane because it's already 9:30.
Oh, yes, 9:30, and I want to be somewhere by 10.
All right.
Not really, but I'm supposed
Not
to.
really,
I
but it
probably
just
won't make
sounds
it.
good to
I probably
say.
won't leave this room. I'm just saying.
So anyway,
Give me some sherbet.
I want to
and
thank all you
fun.
pop culture kids for hanging out with us. Saturday nights, 8:30, we hang out here talking movies, and Kenny, your list again, The Professional. That's the movie you need to go
The
see.
Professional. Who's in that?
Where have you been? Natalie Portman, what's his name? Jean Reno. Not Gary Sinise. Oh, who plays the bad guy? Gary Oldman. It's a Gary.
Gary Oldman? Oh, wow. Okay. I like me some Gary Oldman.
You like Gary Oldman? Oh,
I like
The
Gary Oldman.
Professional. Put that on your list. And that I think you should be able to get that on. You have Hulu too, right? You have Netflix and Paramount Plus. Between one of those services, you should be able to find The Professional. But
Mike, my man, I am never in bed by 10. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never. You said you mean bed by 10. No, never, ever.
Bed by 10. No, I'm in bed by 10 because I'm that old.
In bed by 10.
Hey, are you coming down again for Juneteenth? Because
why they want me to come?
Well, no, I wanted to.
They asked
be able
for
to
Kenny Walker.
If you were coming and we're planning entertainment, we would love to have you do some spoken word. I'm not on the entertainment committee, but I wanted to put your name on the list in case you come.
Okay, all right. Let me give me a day. Let me think about this because I don't know what's going on up here.
All right. Well,
I got some things going on up here. Some irons in the fire, especially the one that me and Culture Blemish lit up today. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing in June.
All right. Hey, let it do what it got to do. All right, folks. We thank you so much for hanging out with us as we talk about you people and guess who's coming to dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Does anybody have a good topic for next week? Anybody have a good pop culture topic for next week? Mike, Steve, Culture.
Pop
Scooby?
culture
No?
topic.
Okay.
Well, I know you're not following the Super Bowl or big game, as they say.
No, I'm not.
You know what? I haven't.
It is
looked.
historic. It is going to be an historic
Oscars
game.
are coming because I haven't seen any of these movies unless they're streaming. I'm like,
it is going to be a historic game because it's going to have for the first time, two black quarterbacks in this game.
And one of the coaches for Philly is a black woman, evidently. One of their coaches.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have brothers playing each other on opposite teams. So it's gonna be historic. It's gonna be Philly all the way. It's a Philly thing, and I know you're not into the football, but so I'll be preoccupied with that probably next week. But do you want to do sports movies? Hardball. We're going to the ship. We're going to the ship. You haven't seen Hardball either, have you?
I've seen Hardball.
Okay.
I seen it, but it was one of those movies that kind of went in and went out.
But it's Keanu.
I know. And it was sad when the little boy died and everything. I'm good.
Just spoiler alerts. Just spoiler.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. Yeah, I seen the movie.
Yeah. Don't give the movie away.
Steve always said movies with sports in them. I think we did a show like that a while ago, but we can do another one.
It's probably over a year ago, but we can. Do you want to stick to football? Because then we'll be talking about Brian's song and everybody be crying.
Wow.
Football. Oh, Wildcats. You remember Wildcats with Goldie Hawn and
Wildcats.
Football, you bet. Yeah, let's do football movie.
The little girl calls up her stepmother. Let me tell you something. She's all drunk.
Yeah, we'll do football movies.
Oh, we're going to party tonight. Not in my house.
Do we include soccer? Because that's technically football if you're not in this country.
We could do sports.
Isn't it like Beckham? Huh?
Because
you haven't seen
the 80 for Brady that's coming out.
Have you seen it?
I'm not going to see it.
You're not going to see it?
It comes on cable and I'm looking at it for free. I might look at it.
That's it.
I'm not going to spend my money supporting an NFL movie.
Okay. All right.
As much as I like the actresses in it, I like all the actresses in it, especially Sally Field.
Sally Field.
Rita
Field. Moreno.
You know what? At close to 80 years old, she's still hot.
Lily Tom. Jane Fonda. I probably would go see it just because of the star power.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, it's like it's a wait for cable movie. It feels like
I'm not a big Tom Brady fan in the first place.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What, Cheetah Brady? No, I'm good.
Hey, it's not cheating if you're divorced. Anyway, we will be back next Saturday night. We will be talking all things, all movies, football. Mom always said don't play football in the house. So we will come back next week with that. And
come back with some sports movies. I want you guys to have a nice weekend. Have a good weekend. Have a nice night. God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.